Hi guys, it's April. I didn't expect the stay-home reading rush to go quite the way that it did, but I can't say I'm disappointed. So for the stay-at-home reading rush, there are 4 challenges: to read a book with a house on the cover, to read a book all in one place, to read a book about some place you wish to go, and to read a book that makes you smile. And I can say that I successfully completed all 4 challenges, and I read a total of 3 books. The page count for those 3 books was 872 pages, which means I spent about a day and a half per book, but really I only ended up spending 10.5 hours reading, which means that I was reading about 83 pages per hour. But now let's get into the fun part, the books that I read. The first book I completed for the stay home reading rush was the Southern Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. So this was sort of on my TBR. It was one that I had just gotten from the library, so I was super excited about it. So I ended up swapping this book in. Instead of reading Looking Glass, I read this beautiful, beautiful book. It is a campy horror story about a group of women who start their own book club centered around true crime. Of course, odd and bizarre things start happening in their quaint little town, and Patricia, the main character, is on a mission to discover what is actually happening to the children. I absolutely adored this read. Grady Hendrix has a way of making horror and humor come together in such a beautiful combination that I keep gravitating towards his books, and I love them. I have a full review over this book in case you're interested. I will link it down below and of course up above, so you can go check that out. But it is safe to say I enjoyed this read. The next book I read is Volume 8 of Sandman Worlds End. This is a graphic novel series by Neil Gaiman. Now this wasn't a bad volume by any means. It was set up in a very episodic fashion. You ended up at this inn called World's End, and some of the characters are just simply telling their story. Overall, it was a very quick, fast-paced read. I enjoy some of the darker sides that this graphic novel series takes on, but I can't say I was fully excited about this volume. There wasn't a lot that just kept me interested. I read through it quickly, but I can't say that I really cared about a lot of what was going on. And then last but not least, I picked up Comeback, a K-pop novel by Ashwood and Rachel Rose. This is the story of Emery, who is a K-pop idol, dealing with what success brings. This is also the story of Alana, who finds herself in Seoul after a tragic loss in her family. I liked this read because it was light and fluffy, but it did take on some very heavy topics. Of course, it doesn't hurt that it was set in Seoul, centered around this K-pop group. I love seeing the dynamic between the boys in the group. I like seeing Korean culture and the K-pop culture. I like the notes that the authors were taking about that culture. I have a full review on this book too, because there was a lot of thoughts going on, and I did receive this book for a review, but of course that didn't really sway me one way or the other. I just really liked this book. It's that simple. So if you want to know more of my thoughts, go and check out that review. So those were the 3 books I ended up reading over the stay home reading rush. I did do a vlog over the full readathon. There were some interesting things that happened during the event that I did not foresee at all, but you know, that is how life is. I really enjoyed doing this. It was something nice and fluffy to do during this very interesting time that we are in right now. Tell me down below if you participated in the stay home reading rush, what your favorite book was. If you think I should read it, I probably should if it was your favorite, but just tell me down below. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with every time I upload, subscribe down below, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.